Welcome to my channel, The Human Frontier. The first time I stepped into the celestial court of the Valari Empire, I understood why humans were never meant to stand there. The chamber was carved from living crystal, arching into a dome so high it seemed to touch the stars themselves. Floating banners shimmered in the air, displaying the sigils of 100 conquered systems. Alien nobles in flowing metallic robes lined both sides of the hall, their luminous eyes tracking my every step. And at the far end, seated upon a throne of white starlight, was Princess Kilira, heir to the Valari Empire. Her silver-blue skin gleamed under the crystal chandeliers. Her crown hovered above her head, a halo of rotating shards that hummed softly with power. She looked young by human standards, but Valari lifespans stretched centuries. Behind her calm expression was a mind trained in politics, war theory, and royal dominance. To her right stood the High Marshal. To her left, generals whose fleets had burned half the Orion Arm. And then there was me, a human in a dark, unadorned uniform. No medals. No insignia beyond the simple silver crest of the Imperial Strategic Division. I bowed. Whispers rippled through the court. That's the replacement? A human. He looks barely old enough to command a shuttle. Princess Kilira leaned forward slightly, her eyes narrowing. This, she said, her voice amplified gently by unseen technology, is the strategist my father's council insisted upon? The High Marshal cleared his throat. Your Radiance, this is Commander Aaron Vale. He was recommended by the Strategic Oversight Committee. Her gaze swept over me once more, slow and unimpressed. You appear, she said coolly, to be a rookie. Laughter echoed through the chamber. I did not respond. Inside, I felt the familiar calm that came before battle, the silence before impact. Because she was right about one thing. In this court, I was a rookie. But in war, that was another matter entirely. The Valari Empire was at war with the Car Dominion, a ruthless coalition of biomechanical species who consumed entire worlds for raw material. For 3 years, fleets had clashed across contested systems. Valari victories were costly. Car offensives were relentless. 2 weeks before my arrival, the Valari 7th Armada had been ambushed in the Rithos corridor. 20 capital ships destroyed. Survivors scattered. The Emperor, aging and ill, had demanded new leadership. That was how I had ended up in the court. Princess Kilira rose from her throne. If you are to serve as strategic advisor to my fleets, she said, descending the steps slowly, you will demonstrate your value. A holographic star map flickered into existence between us. Red icons marked car-controlled space. Blue icons showed Valari fleets in retreat. The car advanced through the Vera expanse, she continued. 3 systems have fallen. Our 8th Armada prepares a defensive stand at Kelthar Prime. I studied the display. The 8th Armada was positioned traditionally, layered defense, capital ships at the rear, carriers central, frigates forming a perimeter screen. Predictable. Your Highness, I said carefully, if the 8th Armada remains at Kelthar Prime, they will be destroyed within 48 hours. Gasps filled the court. The High Marshal's eyes flashed. On what authority do you claim that? I met his gaze evenly. Pattern recognition. The Car don't attack directly when resistance is concentrated. They isolate supply lines first. I expanded the hologram, tracing a faint vector through nearby systems. They will feint at Kelthar. The real strike will come through the unguarded Theros drift. Once they sever logistics, the Armada collapses from within. Princess Kilira crossed her arms. And your solution, Commander Rookie? I suppressed the faintest hint of a smile. Abandon Kelthar Prime. The chamber erupted in outrage. Cowardice. Treason. Kelthar is symbolic. Princess Kilira raised a hand, silencing them. Explain. Move the 8th Armada into the Roast Drift, I said. Not defensively, offensively. Disperse into microformations, cloak emissions, and let the car think the system is undefended. She tilted her head. You propose we bait them. I propose we let them believe they've already won. 3 days later, I stood aboard the Volari flagship Starfire Ascendant, watching the void beyond the viewport. Princess Kilira had insisted on commanding the operation personally. You will stand beside me, she had said. If your strategy fails, you will answer for it. The fleet had repositioned in silence. Thousands of ships hiding within asteroid fields, nebular interference, and radiation shadows. Sensors flickered. Car signatures emerging from warp. Exactly as predicted. Princess Kilira's voice was steady. They moved toward the Roast Drift. I nodded. Wait. The car vanguard pushed deeper, scanning for resistance. Still nothing. Then the main force arrived. Massive biomechanical dreadnoughts bristling with plasma spines. Now, I said softly. Volari ships ignited from concealment. Microformations converged from every vector. Instead of a static line, they moved like a swarm, coordinated, fluid, impossible to target conventionally. The first car dreadnought split in half under concentrated fire. Princess Kilira stared at the tactical display. They're disoriented. They expected fear, I replied. They're facing precision. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the car fleet had lost 40% of its strength. The survivors retreated in chaos. The Volari losses were minimal. Silence filled the command deck. Princess Kilira turned to me slowly. You've done this before. I didn't answer immediately. Finally, I said, 37 major campaigns. 0 defeats. Her eyes widened slightly. You are no rookie. In court, I said quietly, titles matter. In war, results do. Victory at the Roast Drift shifted momentum across the expanse. Morale surged. Car offensive slowed. But the Dominion was not defeated. 2 weeks later, long-range probes detected something unprecedented. A car prime construct. A mobile war engine the size of a moon, capable of consuming entire fleets. It moved toward Volari core territory. Panic returned to the Empire. Princess Kilira summoned me privately. The crystal chamber was empty this time. No nobles, no generals. You knew, she said softly, that they would escalate? Yes. And you did not warn us? You would not have listened. Her expression hardened, then softened. Perhaps not. She stepped closer. My father is dying. The Empire is fragile. If this construct reaches our inner systems, it won't, I said. She searched my face. How can you be certain? Because this time, we won't defend. The final battle took place in the dead zone of the Arcani's Rift, a region of unstable gravity wells and ion storms. We lured the prime construct there with a false retreat. Princess Kilira commanded from the Starfire Ascendant. I coordinated fleet movements. The construct entered the rift, its massive hull absorbing stray lightning from ionized clouds. Begin Phase 1, I ordered. Volari frigates darted forward, launching gravitic anchors that latched onto the construct's outer plating. Phase 2, synchronized warp detonations. Microjumps triggered around the construct, tearing at space-time itself. The gravity wells of the rift destabilized. The prime construct attempted to retreat. Too late. Phase 3. All capital ships fired into the weakened core simultaneously. The explosion lit the rift like a newborn star. Shockwaves rippled outward. When the light faded, the prime construct was gone. So was the car Dominion's advantage. Months later, The war officially ended. The Valari Empire held a ceremony in the Celestial Court. This time, when I entered the chamber, there were no whispers. Princess, now Empress, Kilira stood before the throne. Her father had passed peacefully. She ruled alone. Commander Aaron Vale, she said, her voice echoing across the hall, step forward. I did. She descended the steps once more, but this time her expression was different. Once I called you a rookie, she said. A faint ripple of restrained amusement passed through the court. I judged you by appearance, by species, by silence.
She stopped before me.
I was wrong. The Empress of the Valari Empire bowed her head slightly, a gesture no ruler had offered a human before. You are a legend of war. And more than that, you are the architect of our survival. The court erupted into applause. I felt no triumph, only the same quiet calm that had followed every battle. Your Majesty, I said, legends are dangerous things. She raised an eyebrow. They make people believe someone else will save them. Her gaze sharpened with understanding. Then what should they believe? I looked around the crystal chamber, at alien nobles, at former skeptics, at a civilization forever changed. They should believe they can win, I said. She smiled, not mockingly, not skeptically, but with genuine respect. A rookie in the court, she murmured, an unbeatable legend in war. Outside the crystal dome, stars burned in peaceful silence. For the first time in years, there were no enemy fleets in the dark. And as I stood beside the Empress, I knew one truth with certainty. The greatest battles are not fought in space. They are fought in the minds of those who dare to underestimate you. And sometimes, the quietest rookie is the one who has never lost. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more cinematic science fiction stories.